It is that time again. It is Miss Jones's story time. And we are reading Key Hunters. That's our story. We've got Evan and Chloe, and we are on chapter 10 of the Mysterious Moonstone. In our last chapter, we found out where Miss Crawley was in the story, and we also learned who she is in the story. I wonder if you remember who she is. And then our characters were going to go and meet up with their next suspect. Their next suspect is Richard Cunningham. Do you remember who Richard Cunningham is? Looks like they're tiptoeing right there around chapter 10. So let's get into it, guys. Mr. Cunningham, Artie said, pacing across the third floor bedroom. Where were you when the Moonstone disappeared? Richard Cunningham III turned to face them from the armchair near the window. The belt of his velvet robe struggled to stay tied over his round belly. I've been in my room the whole time, Cunningham said, pulling his tea tray closer. How did you meet Beatrice? Cleo asked. We only met face to face 2 months ago, Cunningham said. 3 years before that, her parents suggested we meet, and I sent her a letter from South Africa. I fell in love with her after her first response. Such perfect handwriting. The loops in her G's are magical. When I finally convinced her to wed, she insisted on this date for the wedding. Who else has been up here? Evan asked. Cunningham thought for a moment. Other than the team from the bank and the police, only Colonel Musgrave, he said. He came to discuss our merger. Watson woofed. What merger? Artie asked. Cunningham sipped his tea. My family's shipping company in South Africa will be merging with Colonel Musgrave's in India. Our two companies will be one. Who stands to benefit from this merger? Artie asked. Both sides, Cunningham said. Musgrave's routes in India are risky. Too many pirates. Our company needs more influence with the Queen. Merging will help us both. And how are you at climbing rope ladders? Artie asked. Rope ladders? Cunningham said. What sort of question is that? Artie reached out the window and began pulling the ladder into the room. There happens to be one hanging from your window. I had no idea. Cunningham stood and smoothed out his robe. Anyhow, that ladder would never support my weight. Evan tugged at the ladder. It felt flimsy. What do you know about the Musgrave Moonstone? Cleo said, narrowing her eyes. Cunningham smiled. It's one of the finest stones ever unearthed. And stealing the Musgrave Moonstone? Artie started. Stealing the Musgrave Moonstone would do me no good, Cunningham said. Our companies will be merging. I'll be marrying Musgrave's daughter. The stone was going to be mine anyway. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must speak with Musgrave. Cunningham stuffed his pudgy feet into his slippers and marched out. Solving this crime is not going to be simple, Cleo said. Artie straightened his tie. It's a complex mystery, he said. So the solution must be complicated. Okay, so like in our last chapter, we have a key down here that tells us we're going to be switching from where we are, which is in Mr. Cunningham's room, and going somewhere else. So We don't have another picture, but I wanted to show you guys that. We've got too many suspects, Evans said as they went down to the second floor. A railing overlooked the entrance hall, and anyone could have snuck away to grab that Moonstone, Cleo said. Maybe we should go over what we found, Evans suggested. They sat at the small table near the giant grandfather clock. The gem-covered clock face sparkled in the eerie moonlight. Artie pulled out some dog treats and placed them beside Watson on a velvet chair. Evan opened his journal to see what he had written. Okay, so I want you to see what our notes look like. So that's our list of notes, and you can see that it's 2 pages long. So we're going to go over our suspects. So the first one is Colonel Musgrave. And that's good to take notes because it helps you to remember things for later. So like if you're trying to remember stuff for a test or anything like that, it's good to take notes. Colonel Musgrave, his motive, the reason that he could possibly want to steal the gem that they're looking for, the Moonstone, money troubles, insurance policy over £1 million, which basically is a lot of money. Translated £1 million, it's thousands and thousands of dollars for us, okay? Or actually hundreds of thousands of dollars, I should say. Sorry about that. Alibi. Now, his alibi is the thing that would tell us, nope, he couldn't possibly be doing that because somebody else can vouch for him or say he wasn't there or available to do it at the time, to commit the crime. So his alibi, he was with Lady Musgrave. Okay, so Lady Musgrave is our next suspect. Her motive, she believes the stone is cursed, wants to get rid of it. So if it's cursed, that means that something bad is going to happen to whomever owns the stone. And her alibi is she was with Colonel Musgrave. Beatrice's motive is she was the last person to see the diamond. She could have actually lost it. That's the daughter. Her alibi, she said she was in the hall getting glue when the Moonstone disappeared. Richard Cunningham III, that's the person we just interviewed in the last one, or the characters just interviewed in the last chapter, and he's supposed to marry Beatrice. His motive is he was heard saying he wants that gem, and his alibi, he was alone in the room the whole time. Kumar, who was the butler, he doesn't have a motive at all. He says he's loyal to the family. His alibi, he was in the kitchen with Chef Lilith. Chef Lilith said her motive is money, plus she's creepy and mean. And then her alibi is she was cooking all afternoon, and Kumar can confirm it. Then there's Jules Worthington IV. His motive is maybe money. He knows how much the stone is worth. And his alibi is he was at the bank when the Moonstone disappeared. So a couple of our people, their alibi is they're with other people. So, we'll see. But there's little things, little touches that I thought were cute. You know, there's the tomato soup is over here. We got drool from the dog, Watson. Just little things. Some tears from Beatrice. And then, this is our next page picture. And some of the things there that we're getting ready to find out what's going on. Okay? Alright. I don't see any clues that tell us who did it, Cleo said. We've got to dig deeper, Artie said. The answer is here somewhere. Suddenly, Evan heard a clatter above them. A tea cart came hurtling down the staircase right for them. "Watch out!" he cried. Cleo and Artie rolled out of the way, but Watson sat on his cushioned chair munching on his treats. Evan dove in front of the tea cart and scooped him up. Then Evan leaped out of the way right before the heavy metal cart came crashing down. The tray flipped into the air, the teapot and teacup shattered on the floor. When the dust settled, the velvet chair was splintered and there was a huge tea cart-sized hole in the wall. So that's what we were looking at. The destruction aftermath. That could have been us, Cleo said. But it was fortuitous, Artie exclaimed. Cleo looked at Evan so he could tell her what fortuitous meant, but not even Evan knew. It means filled with fortune or good luck, Artie said. What's fortuitous about a giant tea cart almost crushing us? Evan said. It means our thief is still in the house. Artie dusted himself off and stood up. And I know who did it. Dun dun dun. So that's the end of that chapter, and that's our next picture. Chapter 11. Guys, we have 4 more chapters to go. And so, who do you think did it? We know our suspects now. Who do you think actually is the one who committed the crime? Or is it more than one person? Think about that. Alright, so comment below and go to the Facebook page to see what questions we have for chapter 10. See you next time.